So let's jump in the time machine for a quick second. We're not going back far. We're only going back to June 22nd, 2025, where one of the best crypto traders out there, Crypto God John, tweeted unpopular opinion, which it's getting less and less unpopular because it's becoming true. I'll show you that in a sec. He said, gaming coins will be the hottest narrative, the number one hottest narrative in all of crypto in Q4 2025 and Q1 2026. Fast forward literally a month to the day, and it is becoming true. Superverse tweeted out crypto gaming. That is the tweet with a Google Trends graph down here of the crypto gaming search interest exploding. And if we pull up the chart ourselves, we're not too late, because this is a sort of like, wow, we are really too late. We're already at all-time highs. We've already missed all those pumps. No, it is exploding at the moment compared to where it's been over the last 12 months or so. But I think if you're around, you're going to remember what 2021 looked like when these like Doge Dash, I keep talking about Doge Dash, a little flash animation game that wasn't even crypto integrated. You literally had to record yourself playing and send it to the developers to earn crypto. Insane, was valued into the billions of dollars. And that is what we're betting on happening again here. And if it happens again, we're going to be very excitingly rich. Now, Alex Becker also thinks gaming is going to be massive. Not just massive, but the best ROI on our money right now. This is his video from 19 hours ago as I'm making this video, and he talks about a lot of AI, RWA tokens, but he mentions for the first time in a long time, gaming and NFTs. And remember, he launched his own crypto gaming NFT back in 2021 as well. But have a look at what he says. He says, actually, the other space I'd be looking at right now is going to be gaming and NFTs, of which NFTs are running as well. I've actually made 5 figures this week on NFTs, which more videos coming, so make sure you hit subscribe. And so he says, if you actually want the place where the biggest gains are going to be from the lows, as in the current lows in price, not the lows like the hardware store. He says the size of the sector isn't quite going to be as big as AI RWA, but from the lows, the multiples are going to be bonkers. The highest ROIs are going to be in gaming and NFTs. And if you come across a coin market cap and sort by gaming tokens, the total market cap of all gaming tokens, including these top tokens here, which I mean, this is AI, this is a meme coin. They're not all gaming in here. So you can take off maybe $3 to $6 billion, and you can see the market cap of all gaming crypto together is $22 billion. Come across to Dogecoin, which is last season's biggest meme coin. It's currently almost twice the size as the entire sector of gaming. And so it could be very wise to position yourself in the top gaming cryptos right now for when that interest picks up even more and the mainstream comes and GTA 6 arrives and it's got crypto integration and everything else goes crazy just like the metaverse narrative did in 2021. We could be very happy people. This is where it gets complex. Becker has 71. He's actually got 72. We found another new Becker token, so make sure you subscribe. We'll be talking about that likely this week as well. And Elio Trades not only builds in the space, but has a lot of gaming tokens. So in this video, I want to cut through the noise, cut through the old narratives, and break down the top 5 gaming plays that if the gaming narrative goes absolutely nuclear like it did in 2021, you know which tokens are going to go with it. Because they won't all fly. The old narratives are going to drop off and you don't want to be sidelined. And I know what I'm talking about. In the last video, we talked about Meticade at 1/8 of a cent and at more than 2x past 2 cents. Ton Station, we also talked about, which was in the gaming niche, was down here at a $2 million market cap. And after our video, skyrocketed to a $12 million market cap. That's a 6 times ROI. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. Pay attention to the next 5 tokens. The first token on the list, if you were around in the last bull market, this was a blue chip token. This was probably in the top 3 to 5 most popular gaming tokens. Not by market cap, but just in terms of if you had to name 5, Cedify would make it there. They say they're the Web3 incubator and launchpad. Join our ultimate Telegram GC for creators, Gap and Earn. Now, what you don't get from this bio is they're basically a launchpad and incubator. They help Web3 games, crypto games, actually launch and find an audience and help people invest in their tokens. And historically, Cedify has basically tracked the index or the average of all of the crypto games. So if crypto gaming goes up 3x, Cedify will go up 3x. It's basically a good little index fund for crypto gaming, which means you're not going to hit the crazy 10, 50, 100x's. But if you just want to play the market, I do think Cedify is a good bet. Alex Becker said back in 2021, when things were really heating up, Cedify is now the most profitable IDO platform. IDO basically, I don't actually know what the D means, but ICO is initial coin offering. It's where you invest early in the token in the private rounds before it goes public. Called it here, and it became a heavy investor at 85 cents. Becker invested in way back in 2021. If you got in around then with me, the gains plus IDO access, you made an unreasonable amount of money, because when you're holding the Cedify token, you get access to those IDOs, those ICOs, and get access to the new games that are launching on the Cedify platform. Sips old fashioned and shoots 1 mile, no look 3-pointer. Hilarious. And this was at $5.11. Now, since then, gaming obviously crashed, but we're fast forwarding, getting back in that time machine together to 2023, where Becker says IDO season is here. Coins that will give nuclear returns are just now preparing to enter the market. For example, Inspect just dropped and delivered a 10 to 20x for investors. And launchpads like Seedify, also SitCap, which I believe is part of his crypto gaming NFT platform, and Paid Network, which I believe is Kyle Chassis, are going to fly just like last run. He's saying that launchpads fly when the market flies. Now, Cedify is interesting because we're not currently partnered with Cedify on the channel, but we were before. And when we spoke to the team of Cedify, some of their results were really good. For example, ChainGPT, it's had a 14x return if you invested on it through the Cedify platform. There are some, however, sitting under the 1x multiple, which means you would have lost money, but the market hasn't been strong. And as the market gets stronger and stronger and the narratives come back, you'll expect to see things like Blocktopia, which is something like a 400x return. And also, they have a refund policy now. So if you are a Cedify holder, and you wanting to get access to these IDOs, ICOs, whatever you want to call them, and it doesn't do well, you can actually get your money back for your tokens after 7 days. And a weak market's a no-brainer. If it doesn't make money, you just get your money back. So Cedify is currently sitting at 65 cents, a $46 million market cap and a 65 million fully diluted. You can see back at the Euphoria, let's hope market cap is tracked, they were at a $350 million market cap back in 2021. And like Becker said, you could get access to all those new launches as well. Moving on to token number 2. Now, this token was the hype at the end of 2024. And this is Karrat. And there's a couple of categories in this video. Some of them are basically like Seedify or Karrat, which are down from their all-time highs. And therefore, if they're down 90%, it doesn't take much to get back to their all-time highs and therefore 10x your money. Or even if it's just going to bump 3 or 4x, you can 3 to 4x your money just by riding the gaming narrative, as these massive tokens with reputable communities and big KOLs pushing them are going to bounce back up. And Karrat described themselves as empowering gaming and AI entertainment ecosystems. Launch partner with My Pet Hooligan. Now, this is the Karrat homepage here, and basically I'll get into My Pet Hooligan in a second, which is basically trying to shoot to be a AAA game. But if you go and watch something like the trailer and you go in, you can see that the production quality and the build quality on a game like this far surpasses anything that we had in 2021. And John says, I think Karrat will be one of those plays many people wish they accumulated at 50 cents before gaming heats up. Hint, hint, is it's under 50 cents at the moment. In hindsight, buying these lows is going to look like a bargain. I think My Pet Hooligan has the best potential at bridging Web 2 gaming into Web 3, and this is what everyone's waiting for. What is going to onboard the normies? What is going to make this go mainstream? And which of these games is going to bring millions of players in to use crypto without them even knowing they're using crypto? Some people think it's GTA 6. Some people think it's My Pet Hooligan. Some people think it's another token I'm about to talk about a little bit later in this video. But CryptoGo John says that Karrat is literally his favorite gaming coin. It's been breaking out, reclaiming previous range lows, and he thinks this will cook. With backing from Amazon, Nvidia, Epic, and team from Disney and Pixar and Riot. Maybe I'm biased because I'm becoming an actual character in the game, which is funny because he has a partnership deal with them. But this is a sleeping monster in his opinion. So much so that he actually took a screenshot and said that he texted his own friends saying that it's basically under 50 cents is free money. He thinks it's going to go towards $5 before the end of 2025. And right now, we're not just sitting under 50 cents. We're sitting under 5 cents, which is pretty crazy. A $17 million market cap and a 49 million fully diluted. And this is sort of the thing that we talk about on this channel. We talk about SPX 6900. That's my biggest bag that I'm holding. And the meme coin super cycle is likely going to take off because there is no dilution coming. But something like Karrat launched at a pretty crazy dilution. And what's happened is it's bled out since that point in time, and a lot of that dilution is now on the market. Now they have about a 3x left to go in order to be fully diluted, which is not ideal for someone like me, but I've seen tokens absolutely take off with 10x dilution still to go. So depending on how bullish CryptoGo John is and how bullish the crypto gaming market goes, Karrat could be a decent play. This is not one that I'm fully invested in, but the next one is way more my speed. So let's jump into that. It's called Xorg, the player identity protocol. Unlock personalized gaming experiences with the Xorg ID. This is basically trying to become your Steam login, your Steam username of Web3, where you can take it between games, you can have all your assets and your NFTs and your in-game utility and guns and stuff, all linked, including your track record and your skills, all linked to your Xorg ID. On their website, they say, where gaming is unique. We're building the infrastructure for gaming's next era, where every interaction is personalized, every achievement is portable, and every player controls their own destiny. And Crypto Zach, LA, who's been early to a lot of gems when the market is hot, says he needs some more AI and gaming plays. They need to be under a 20 mil market cap. They need a solid team, solid community, utilizing their treasury for more than just buybacks, actual use case and utility. What do you got? Shill me. Alex Becker popped into the chat and said, you had these during the last dip and last year. You are too late. That said, Xorg and Parallel AI may be the last two that fit this bill. So Xorg was the literally first thing that rolled off Becker's tongue for that criteria. And fast forward back to today, back in that time machine, jump back out. Look at that beautiful 30-day Xorg chart. You can see Xorg is responding really well to crypto gaming's small little interest bump and run. At one point, crypto gaming related coins will enter the banana zone, go exponential, go parabolic, and Xorg will be one of the top leaders of those tokens. And then not long after that, actually, Xorg had quite the dip in price. And Connor explained why. He said a pre-seed investor sold 1.4 million tokens today in 100K to 200K chunks. They only have 240,000 tokens left over and are up 4x since investing. Alex Becker, once again, enters the chat and supports Xorg. This guy's just literally about 12 hours ago. He says, that's goofy. Why would they sell 1.4 million tokens? Because Xorg is gonna fly here soon when the gaming infrastructure move, which, as you saw him say in his latest video, he thinks is going to be the highest ROI. And Xorg have also been doing well, up 27.7% on July 4th, as they introduced a new buyback revenue model where, as Xorg's founders say, we're implementing this with the largest esports teams in the world and brands in the world, alongside the world's largest intellectual property, where we take 30 to 50% commissions, and Xorg is a payment option. Right now, Xorg is sitting at a circulating market cap of $16 million. You can see if we go to market cap, their top of all time didn't really break out because it's only December 2024. They missed that 2021 crazy cycle, and it topped out at about $67 million. However, you may see not only is it down a long way like all crypto games are following that trend, the fully diluted value is 6 times multiple, $100 million. What is going on with that? Well, it's a very fair question, but let me come across to Crypto Rank. Now, I really love Crypto Rank for this one tool. You put in the token that you want to have a look at what the vesting schedule is, you click on vesting, and then they really hide this down here. Actually, normally it starts like this, and you're like, okay, I have no idea what all this is. This looks like a lot of money that's going to be unlocked. No, you come down to the nifty little tool down here called chart. You click on that and it literally builds the staircase for you for where the unlocks are coming and from where. And you can see Xorg right now, we're at this point in time where 26% of the tokens are unlocked. And if we fast forward to, say, the start of 2026, let's go January 2026, 34% of tokens are going to be unlocked. So you can see there's only 5% of total tokens unlocking over the next 6 months, which means you're not going to get too overly diluted by new tokens coming onto the market. And if we fast forward again a whole nother year into 2027, 50%, which means that's going to be another 25% total over the next 2 years, which means the token is going to have twice the tokens available in the next 18 months, which is not too bad, especially if the bull run comes in the next 6 months. And there's only another 5 to 8% of tokens that are being diluted as all that buy pressure builds up. Now, it's funny we're talking about Xorg because inside our inner circle, we track the wallets and the portfolios and the socials of the biggest and best traders in the world, people like Alex Becker. And not only do we know when Alex Becker buys things, but we also know when new tokens and gaming tokens and old tokens are partnering up with people like Alex Becker in return for shoutouts on their social media. And we've been tracking deployer wallets. And we caught Alex Becker getting a re-up of 0.285% of supply on Xorg. We told our inner circle, of course, and this is up a 2x. Everything that Alex Becker is getting supply on pumps harder than the stuff that Alex Becker is not getting new supply on. Because KOLs, key opinion leaders like Alex Becker, are what determine how well a token does or not. So that's why you need to be in our inner circle to get ahead of the narratives and not wait until they're mainstream on Twitter, on YouTube, and have already done a 5 or 6x. Come and literally see the moment it leaves deployer wallets, the moment Alex Becker, Crypto God John, Ilya trades, any of your favorite influencers are buying and selling tokens, we will send you an alert in our Rubicon bot. And we have one of the best quants in the space sending you updates like this 3 to 4 times a week so you can stay way ahead of the narratives. Just this week, our community actually found this SPX 6900 dupe or derivative or inspired token, however you want to explain it, at a $1 million market cap. Guys, today it touched $90 million market cap. And in this market, in our inner circle, we're finding these very frequently. Here are some of the recent tokens that we discovered. And from their all-time lows, which probably very fair to say, impossible to get in at the moment they're at their all-time low and get out their all-time high. But this is what we're measuring from. And even if you want to half these multiples, these are some of the crazy results that our community and our quants and our team are finding inside our inner circle, including 114x on Reploy, that nice 76x I just showed you on Doge, or the big gun, the one that's 60% of my portfolio, a 96x on SPX 6900. So if you want access to the Rubicon bot, this token discovery mechanism where you're going to find these narratives, you're going to find these tokens, you're going to find these plays that these influencers and best traders in the world are making before their public knowledge. So you also have an inside edge in this market. Come and join us in the inner circle. The link to that is in the description below. When market sentiment is like this, we're literally printing in there. So if you don't want to miss out on a fun print fest, I'd love to see you on the inside. Now, that takes us to our fourth token, which is Gunzilla, the layer 1 blockchain ecosystem powering community-driven economies in AAA games. Remember, there's this real fight to be that first AAA game onboarding the non-crypto native people into crypto. They are integrated into Play Off the Grid, which is trying to be that #1 game. And Off the Grid have some massive partnership deals with some of the biggest and best gamers in the world. Alex Becker says AVAX and Gunzilla are bringing crypto to Xbox because Off the Grid is not just a computer game, but it's also on consoles. I feel bad for anyone who isn't hoarding giant girthy gaming crypto bags. Watching this from the sidelines will be a traumatic experience. And you can see Shaz V actually said, just set the new highest sale in Play Off the Grid. I sold my Pioneer Tacoma, which I don't know what that is, but that's obviously an in-game asset, for 149,000 Guns token, which is $4,000 on Gunzilla mainnet. The demand for rare gear is getting real. Built on AVAX, which is one of Becker's biggest plays this season in terms of gaming, powered by Gunzilla game. And Superverse actually said that Gunzilla makes history as the first subnet to partner with OpenSea, OpenSea being the massive NFT platform. Superverse partners are always leading the charge in Web3 gaming. Right now, Gunzilla has a $32 million market cap, and you can see, just like all the other tokens that have released with a crazy fully diluted ratio, it's been bleeding out ever since. But does that mean it can bounce quickly? Yes, especially if the narrative is strong enough and crypto gaming picks up, because Guns is one of the top tokens in there. That also being said, I don't love still seeing a 10x dilution to go. It's not my cup of tea, but if we use the tool that I showed you before, Crypto Rank, go to investing, go to chart, over here, this little button that they hide, I struggle to find every single time. You can see it's currently 10% unlocked at 10x to go. And by, let's go January next year, it's going to be 15% unlocked. So it's going to be 50% unlock in that time, which is not ideal, but it's okay. Again, I'm not personally invested in this, but I think it probably will do really well, especially if the narrative turns, because the dilution's not crazy, although you will start bleeding out if the demand's not there. But by March 2026, that's when the unlocks get a little bit crazy and pretty unreasonable, unlocking almost like 5% every single month from there on in. So I would be personally out by then. And that takes us to our fifth game. Now, this game is a partner of the channel. It's called Metacade. And Meticade pumped last time I mentioned it on the channel, and I think there's still a lot of room to go. They said they're the home of gaming on Based, fueled by Meticade token. And this one's interesting because, as you've probably seen, every token that we talk about, I've been talking about which KOLs and which influencers also like those tokens, because if you don't know how crypto works, basically which influencers are going to pump your tokens and how do you get in before they pump them and then sell on people that they pump it to. That's the game of crypto. That's why we have our inner circle and we track wallets, so we can get ahead of that. And that's why we make a lot of money in Web3. Meticade has some very interesting KOLs who are behind it, which I'll actually get to in a sec. The first thing that they have is they are on Base, Coinbase, which is basically the #1 on-ramp for normies and mainstream to get into crypto. And Base just came out with a way that every token is now tradable straight from the Coinbase app. It doesn't have to be on a centralized exchange. You can buy it on a decentralized exchange. Now, interestingly enough, I'm going to zoom in just so you can see it here. It's a bit blurry, but I mean, you can load it in HD on your own computer at home if you want. Meticade was an example that they used in their presentation, because Meticade say that they have their biggest partnership yet. We're proud to announce that Meticade has been selected as a partner of Base and Coinbase to launch their new Layer 3 app chain. It's a massive step forward for Base, for on-chain gaming, and for Meticade. Here's why it changes everything. Now, Meticade were one of just 6 projects to be chosen to roll out a dedicated Base app chain, which is pretty impressive. And how I discovered Meticade, and the man who's the biggest KOL behind Meticade, is Peter from House of Crypto. He says, always focus your attention on the obvious narratives that people have given up on. It's the easiest way to make money. Maybe, and he's referring to crypto gaming. I mean, he is referring to it because he's very direct. Gaming will be huge. He says he holds Beam, and the second one that rolls off his tongue, all those fingers of his, is Metacade. In fact, he thinks this can perform extremely well. Ohm says, now the market is red, could you give us a 20x coin? This is back in March. Peter from House Crypto says, absolutely, I'd love to. He says, My Lovely Planet, MLC, and Meticade. There are 2 20x tokens, in Peter's opinion. And it's interesting because my whole business is tracking influencers and seeing which ones have the biggest influences on tokens and which ones resonate with people the most. And a lot of people love Alex Becker. But if you look at Peter from House of Crypto's YouTube views, they're really impressive. Even this one with 130,000 views 7 days ago. And the thing you can see here is he posts way more frequently than someone like Becker. And if you come over to View Stats, which is Mr. Beast's software that tracks your competitors' channels on YouTube, this is me over here with 750,000 views in the last 90 days. Alex Becker's got 2.6 million views in the last 9 days. House of Crypto is actually more views than Alex Becker, considerably more. It's almost like me and Becker's channel put together is House of Crypto. So not only do Meticade have 80% of their token in the hands of their community and a new partnership with Base, but I think between their KOL partners, which are more high quality KOL partners with strong reach, they can do extremely well within the gaming narrative. Now, Ilio Trade says there are $1 billion in your computer waiting for you to grab it right now. I think someone said all you have to do is push the right keys in the right order and know which keys to push. And that is because there's literally $10 trillion flooding into crypto right now. And if you hit that subscribe button and know where to be positioned, we're going to show you how to grab as much of that money as possible and make it out alive. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.